Oh, almost missed it. Oh, just to make it nice and smooth, gentle. I got a little excited. Started messing around, thought, oh, I got plenty of time. And then, boom, all of a sudden it's time for the stream to start. Sorry to both of you that are watching. Oh, there's a few more than that. How's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here. All right. We're a couple minutes early. Is that a good thing? Try to make it a good thing. K Digger Burr, how's it going? Brian, how you guys doing? Since you're the first ones here, let me ask you, what do you tune in to see? What do you hope to see? When you see the stream go live and you say, oh, DrZzs is on, what do you hope to see? I gotta make sure that I'm fulfilling what you. Oh, good. Quindor's here. How's it going? Only half? How come you're only half here? Where are you? Where's the rest of you? I'm spoiling. I turned my camera on. I'm spoiling a little bit of what's going on. More ideas to feed my addiction. Nice. And Znoobill? How would you say that? Snoobill? I like it. Anytime you can use an X or a Z, it's a win. The other half is doing other stuff. LEDs and no smoke. Right. Mr. Fixer says fun and tech. Me doing cool stuff. Okay, I will do my best to do some cool stuff. This is my cool stuff of the day. Focus is a little off, but that's okay. Oh, man. All right, well, I will do my best to accommodate and provide some cool stuff. We'll see how we do. I'm pretty sure we'll do it. I'm pretty sure we'll do it well today. I think we got some good stuff we can talk about. Obviously, X Nubil. Oh, okay. Just X. Just pronounce the X. That's cool. I like your logo too. Goes along with your logo. Is that your channel or something? Or your business or something? It's cool. I like it. You know what I've been working on. Everybody knows, I think everybody knows what I've been working on. I have been working on Project Atlas with every moment I can spare away from, regular jobs and responsibilities that take more time than any of us would like, I'm sure. We also come here to commiserate about how we don't like to, or how we have to do our jobs in order to support our habit. There's this YouTube channel that makes shorts. He's a first responder. He looks just like me, and every time I see him, I think of you. His channel is Fire Department Chronicles. We should do a collaboration, don't you think? So if you guys that are here, I'm sure you are the faithful followers, right? And so you've probably seen that we put out a lot of shorts ourselves, and I've brought on, I brought on John, who we're calling DrZzs. So he's been doing a lot of really good stuff, and we're starting to do more. We're looking for more collaborations. We're looking to join up with other people that, do the same kind of stuff, or try and blend some audiences, maybe.
Mine secure.
He does kind of look like me, I gotta say. I don't have any tattoos, and I don't usually go in the bathtub. How to weld someone. That's awesome. I'm sure he does most of this like at the fire department, right? Hope he doesn't ever get in trouble for that. That's great. I'll have to check him out. I'm not subscribed. We'll subscribe. I'll have to check him out. Oh, you couldn't see any of that. Sorry. Keep pushing them pixels. Our pixels are pushed, man. Flicks my switch. We got all the pixels pushed. We got them all pushed. I can't really go to that backyard camera because it goes all crazy. But I did. The pixels are all pushed. So we have all 20,000 pixels pushed into the strip for Project Atlas. Everybody knows what Project Atlas is? Anybody need a refresher on what the heck we're talking about? Building something LED related I could reveal on your stream. Still many hours left. Ooh, what are you doing? Oh, you're still pushing pixels. Are you still pushing pixels? What are you doing? Flicks my switch. What are you doing? Show us what you're doing. So while we're hearing from everybody that's showing up today, and thank you all as always for being here. My desk is way more dirty than it usually is. Usually it's bad. I think all of us probably have a workspace that we wish was more organized and cleaner. Mine is not usually this bad. Even at its worst, it's not usually this bad. But this, I've been just running around like crazy as usual, doing too much stuff. Why bother with a cut? So, but what I've got here, that's not dirt, that's hardware. That's right, it is. This is good stuff. So let me go through what we got here, what we got going on here. Don't mind this. This is just power. Some of you probably recognize some of this, correct? Who recognizes this? Who knows what this guy right here is? Recognize this guy? This is a Culp 16. So this is how would you categorize this? I would call it an X-Lights controller, or a controller, an LED controller that is made for shows, for doing big X-Lights shows and stuff, right? It's the brain of it is this Beagle bone board or something, I think is what it's called. And it's got 16 outputs. Each of these outputs can do, what do you guys typically say, 600 to 800 pixels pretty easily. They all have a fuse on them. There are Ethernet ports here to be able to connect to smaller extension boards where you can add more outputs and have more props and such. In my case, I've got it with this ribbon cable connected to this expansion board that provides another 16 outputs and another bunch of fuses. And then each of those two boards is connected to their own 100 amp, 12 volt, 100 amp server power supply. And these are really clever. So the Pixel Heads, of course, introduced me to these because I learn everything from the Pixel Heads. So they told me about these. This is a 12 volt power supply. This is an HP server power supply. So it's supposed to just go into a big server rack somewhere. I don't remember where I bought it from. And I don't remember what it cost. It wasn't that bad. I want to say it was like $40 or $50 maybe, but it's 100 amps. And this piece actually cost another like 18 or 20. And when you get these power supplies, they just come like this. And this little guy, you put on here. It's got little really hard solder points on my fingers. There we go. So then you just press this on there, and you can get them oriented differently. I just got the ones that were oriented this way. And then when you power this up, you flip on the little switch it gives you right here, little switch, boop. And then you've got, what is it, four positives, 4 negatives, plus it looks like these here look like they're also little outputs as well. So I probably don't want to connect anything major or big to those, but I think that's what those are for. Anyways, so this is what is powering Project Atlas. I ended up with, I got 4 of these because when I did my first calculation, I thought, oh, Project Atlas is going to take 400 amps. I really, really, really hope it doesn't. If it does, I'm prepared. But for now, what I've got is just one of these power supplies connected to the Culp 16, and one of them connected to the expansion. We're going to end up probably not using. It's at least 10 if you want to use 100 amps. It is big. I don't know what size it is. It's the biggest wire that I had on hand. And I've got to watch this closely. I don't know how much power exactly it's going to take, so I've got to watch it closely. My plan right now is to try and run this off of one circuit, 120 amp circuit in my house. So I've got both of these 100 amp 12-volt power supplies, which I know can each take, those can each draw 10 amps if we're maxing them out. I'm betting on us not maxing them out. If we do max them out, I'll find out, and that'll be, we'll make some adjustments. And then this just powers the Beagle Bone board over here so that it gets its own 5-volt power separately. And then an extension cord here, and we get off to the house. Though, Quindor says I don't know what size this wire is, but it's big. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. It's the biggest wire I have. I could measure it. That's what fuses are for. Well, actually, no, not really. I mean, these have, do these have a fuse on the outputs? No, they probably don't. It is 4.3 millimeters. That's what it looks like to me. Somewhere in there, 4 millimeters. How's my insurance? Insurance? I can't get them to insure the Hobbit house. I can't get anybody to insure the Hobbit house. They all think it's going to burn down or something. I don't know why. 10 gauge, 5.26 millimeter diameter. Oh, so this is probably bigger than that. This is almost 4 millimeters on the outside. At least this is I got this off of the Chevelle. This wire is from the Chevelle. I guess it does say if I really squeeze it tight, it says 3.6. So 3.7 millimeter diameter. What gauge is 3.7 millimeter diameter? Anybody know? Yeah, what's the wire gauge to millimeter conversion? That's a great one. Oh, it's inside. Oh, without the plastic. Oh, I can find that out too. If I have some more of that wire somewhere. I know I do. I think I took it outside. It's the inside diameter. I bet that's about what this is. If you want, I can take it off. If you guys want to, you're concerned about my safety, and I appreciate that. So we'll measure it on the inside here and see what it is. It's reasonably big wire. It really is. Seems like it. We'll find out. 2.3. Looks like maybe 2.5. And I'm using 2 of these. Well, my plan is, I can get more wire, but my plan is, they're bigger wire. This just happened to be what I had on hand. You know how I am. Schoolboy error measuring the outside. We're doomed. So the plan is, I need to finish up putting all of the rings around the sphere. To do that, the way it works, once I've got all the rings around the sphere, all the pixels on the sphere, I won't be able to get to the inside of it anymore. So what I've been doing is I had just a Dig-Uno connected to a pigtail, because all these pixels that I'm using have the X-Lights connector. So I've got a Dig-Uno connected to a X-Lights, X-Connect pigtail. And I just been connecting it. It's set to 700 LEDs. So I do 700 on a row. And then I go and I pull out the end that it connects to, this little guy, something like that, and have it available. But what I need to do is gather all those, drill a hole through the bottom, pull all those wires out, and then I can finish wrapping up the last 20 rows or so, because once I've wrapped it up, there's no getting back inside of it. How many pixels per bank? I think each port is under 800. 700. 700, Turtle. So each of these, I'm putting 700 on each of these. Hopefully that'll be all right. But my hope is tonight, after the stream, after my nap, I'm gonna put all this in the container that I have. It's not gonna be the last container because it's just a bin, just a big plastic bin. But I'm gonna put these in there. Take it outside, hook it all up, and start plugging in the outputs. Now I need to have I need to see if there's a test mode. I'm pretty sure there is, right, fellas? I'm pretty sure there's a test mode on these outputs. So I can just hook it up and say, all right, I'm testing, and it will just output something, right? Something simple, not 100% bright white. That would be bad. I have been, it's pretty cool. 700 per string times a million strings. How's it going, Joe? Joe, do you have a wind turbine up there? I need to be in the planning stage for some wind power for the winter. Of course, my wire's not long enough. I guess you don't have to see this. I can move all this over. Let's just switch back over here. Take that off. We'll go back over to here. This is my clone, my fire department clone. And we'll just turn on Home Assistant over here for something in the background. All right, I'm gonna move this over so that it stretches. Because I want to turn on this Culp board and see how we're doing. This wire that is, of questionable size is not easy to bend. That's usually a good thing, right? It's usually a good thing. I need to put up a window meter and get a year of data to see if it's worthwhile. So I have had mine up, Joe, since January, my window meter. And certainly the average is about 5 miles per hour. We have huge gusts. I recorded gusts up to like 40 or 50 miles an hour. So I think for me, it's going to be worth it because we're totally off grid. So any extra watts that we can stuff into the batteries when there's no sun shining in the winter is going to be important. So I think for me, it's worth it to try and get every watt I can get. So the outsides don't touch. I think it's important to keep the server power supplies separated. Can't remember, but maybe do some research. Oh, really? So that the outsides don't touch each other? Okay. Well, right now they're not powered up. I'm just powering up the Culp. The Culp. Oh, yeah, there's a test button. 156 is my IP address. I'm going to go here. Our Falcon Pi Player. What is this sphere thing? Douglas says. Oh boy. Oh bummer. Solar's down. Oh man. What is the sphere thing? You know what the best way to tell you? We put out a little short. We can just go to YouTube. I wonder what shows up if I type in mini mega sphere. Nope. My short does not come up. Let's see if we do pretty crazy that YouTube does that. Like, I put that, like, that's the title, and it's still not coming up. Oh boy. Oh, shorts. Maybe it's.
This is the Bradmore arrow extractor, and this was made after the.
Blah 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 blah. Where's my shorts? Man, not helpful. Not helpful. All right, let's go to shorts. And this. Here we go.
Las Vegas Megasphere on July 4th. The Las Vegas Megasphere lit up the sky for the first time. As soon as I saw it, I knew we were going to have to build our own. We did some geometry. We made a plan. We figured out the software. We built a frame. We did some testing. And we're almost there. The final reveal is coming soon.
Okay. So basically, to answer the question, what is this sphere thing? We're building a small version of the Las Vegas Mega LED sphere, the big display that they've got down there now. And ours is 8-foot diameter, 20,000 pixels, and should be done this week. It will be done this week, as far as I will be done building it this week, and I will finally be able to get the pixel heads the numbers that they need to redo the model, because the pixel heads made the model in X-Lights, but the count was off. The number of pixels that I thought would be in the row was wrong. So I need to we need to redo that. And I can't redo it until I've finished building it. Thanks, Redbeard. Thanks. It should be pretty awesome. It should be pretty cool. I can show you. Let me send. I can email myself, because the stuff doesn't transfer quite so easy from. Let's transfer a couple things here. I'll send a few pictures over so you guys can see them. Interesting to note, of the so far I've put up, I don't remember what the number was, 12,000-ish pics of the 20,000 pixels in the rows, and I've tested them all, and I've only had one bad pixel. Maybe one's too many, but at least I caught it, and now it's not a problem. I fixed it. Back on YouTube after 3 months. What's new, DrZzs? How's it going, Manche? Where did you go for 3 months? How come no YouTube for 3 months? Was this like you were on a YouTube fast? 16 times 700.03 milliamps. Yeah, Mike, it's a lot. It is a lot. Oh, what is happening? Oh, it won't let me send my videos. Dang it. You can follow all the planning and progress in the Discord thread, Project Atlas. Thank you, Marsh. That is true. Am I using 28B style? No, we're using the 2811 bullet styles. However, we are already planning version 2. And version 2, we are going to use the 2812B strips. We're gonna, in fact, probably in a little bit here. Hopefully, John will be able to come on and join us, and we'll start the CAD process. We'll start the planning and the drawing of the sphere, and it'll be good because he'll show us how he does CAD and how he would go about planning something like this. We're gonna do so. The next one we're gonna make smaller. And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be pixel strips. So it'll be more dense. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of new challenges. Is this going to be for a holiday display or year-rounder? This, Redbeard, this is going to have to be year-round. In fact, what I want to do is put, that's not a bad idea, Jeff, 2815 for redundant data, because if there's a bad pixel in this, version 2, oh my gosh, it'd be horrible. All right. I wish I spoke. It's probably German, Wim. But I do not understand. But there's probably somebody else in the chat that does, that can translate for us. So yeah, it's absolutely, Redbeard, going to be a year-round thing. I think what we're going to do is put it on a trailer. We'll put it on a trailer, and we'll be able to take it places, wherever we like to go. Should have the globe linked up on your doorbell. New to the world of LEDs. Oh, just bought a Dig-Octa system and hope to learn a lot from DrZzs. Greetings from the Netherlands. How's it going, Wim? How are you doing? Thanks for being here. Well, there's a lot to learn, and this is the good place to learn it. So thanks for being here. Hopefully we can give you what you need. What are you planning to do with your Dig-Octa? Translator was still on German. All right, I want to try something here. Let's take one of these. Oh, actually, I can take one of these. We're going to test out the Culp. All right, I have made a whole bunch of these pigtails with the X-Lights connectors on them. Scissor lift on that trailer. That's not a bad idea. Try to build X-Lights show for Christmas. Nice. The pixel heads are your guys. They are your guys. Okay, so let's take this. We're also going to need to plug in. I probably should have just done it like this. We're going to need to plug in one of these power supplies. Plug in the power supply. This one of these 100 amp power supplies that's going to the Culp board here. All right, and then actually, I can show you some of what I'm doing over here. So Culp board here. This guy's fired up. Now I'm going to flip the little switch on the side of it over here. There we go. Lights come on. Lights come on here. All right, that's all great. Somebody did a bring. So let's do some unicorn dancing. Pixels. I'm glad I don't have to sit next to these power supplies. They're not super noisy, but they're certainly not quiet. All right. Desk camera, here we go. Oops, didn't want to do that. I just want to make it bigger. There we go. Okay, so Culp board, 100 amp power supply. Pigtail connecting to 100 pixels. All right, pigtail connecting to 100 pixels. Great. And now I'm going to connect this to the output here. Oop. And then I'm going to hit test. Does that do something? No, it doesn't do anything. Well, that's unfortunate. All right, dudes, how do I get this thing to play something? Do I need to hold it down? No. It flashes for a second. says testing. How do I get some output from this thing? Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. The control board, Brandon, this is a Culp 16. And it's an X-Lights controller. I would consider it an X-Lights controller. It can run other things. I guess it's probably more properly a Falcon Falcon Pi Player controller. So this is it right here. And you need this Beagle Bone board on it. Which doesn't seem to. Oh yeah, 32. So it's $202 for that guy. Woohoo! What's up, Bo? You made it. Do you have a link to the server power supply and the adapter boards? So this is here I do now. This is the, oh, you mean the power supply. Gosh, where did I get those power supplies? I'll have to find it in my email real quick. Give me a second. I want to say I got them from eBay, actually. Let's see. Let me find the power supplies. Wow, it's getting loud. These server power supplies are loud. Probably archived the emails since once I got them. I was watching the tracking. Dang it. Well, we can search them. We can search around. Basically, it was 1200 watt. Yeah, 1200 watt power supply. Something like this. I did not get them from Amazon. It's getting louder. I think I didn't get refurbished either, I don't think. But maybe I did. This is basically what they are. This is almost exactly what it is. So, can you see that? I don't remember if I have. Yeah, you can see that. Okay. Purchase history. Yeah, I did. There it is. This is where I bought them. PC server and parts. So $38. Oh, in fact, it was $38 for 2 of them, and I bought 4 of them. I'll put that in there. They're almost all refurbished. Yeah, that makes sense, right? That makes sense. Totally makes sense. And then what was the Turtle? Where did we get those boards, the adapter boards? You guys gave me the link for those too. And I can't remember now what they were called or where they came from. Let's see if I can read it off the board here. Oh, Wizard of Wire. Wizard of Wire. All right, power distribution. This is what we got. So are these called 2850 server power supplies? Is that what they are? Yeah. So so these are the power distribution boards. Let me see if this is the same one. I don't think this is. Nope, that's not the one I have. Nope. The one I have looks like this. Yeah, HP 1200 watt server power supply breakout board. This is it. This one plugs in. I don't know if you want to call it vertically or horizontally. It plugs in like that, right? The one I got, I wanted a little more space, so I got one that plugs in at a 90-degree angle, just to take up less space, which is this one. So for $18, yeah, for $18 you get this. 4 25 amp outputs, one 5 amp output. There you go. They'll be expensive new. Ex data center refurbished, i.e. put in a cardboard box and resold. Yeah. What? Do you mean they're not tested? And what? What? All right, so I'll give you this link as well. These are great. I mean, I think this is a really good way to do it. You do obviously have to realize that you're potentially using 100 amps. So that's going to be a bit more tricky, potentially, on this. So how come hitting test on the Culp is not outputting anything? I would have thought hitting test on the Culp would just output something to the lights, but it doesn't. There's got to be a way that you can test the outputs, right, without running a sequence. How do you do that? Fellas. Fellas. And on the expansion board, instead of having just 3 wires, like this has 3, the expansion board connectors have 4, but it's labeled ground, then clock, then data, then voltage. So I assume if we're going to use single data wire type LEDs, which everybody is, no outputs defined in Falcon Pi Player yet. Okay. So now I'm in my Falcon Pi Player. The OLED screen just says, it gives me my IP address and it just says testing. So Turtle, what do I got to do here? Do you want to call in, or if you want to just tell me, that's great too. Let me get this so that it's output, channel outputs, enable, testing, port number. So none of this is showing up out here. I also have a report for additional information. Oh, it's because I'm in dark mode. Sorry. Guard your retinas. Ah! Oh, the camera protected you. Not anymore. Ah! Sorry, you can't see the screen. So this is where we have to tell it where start channel, pixel count. Oh, gosh. I have to put all that in here. This is for the testing. Restart. This is me learning. This is me learning. But it's good because I need to do this now. So let's get this fixed now. Idle. Oh, there it goes. Now I hit test and they all come on. Okay. Sweet. So what I'm going to have to do, I can turn the testing back off again. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so let's set this guy up for testing. Now, I know that I have on my output number 1 out there, I have 702 pixels. And then I've got 700 pixels on every one after that. So we're going to set up all these with 700 pixels. Hidden in plain sight. It's funny, I get after my kids for doing what I call offloading their thinking to me. And then I do the same. I just offload all my thinking too. So why would it, I don't want this to be channels for outputs 1 and 2 overlap. No, I want this start channel to be the end channel here. So I have to actually put that in. Okay, well, that's fine. 2106, right? And then the start channel here is going to be this one. Correct? Ooh, gosh. And then the start channel for this one is going to be this one. And 8403. Right? Is this looking correct? 2107. Okay. 2107. And then this one's going to be 07 as well. And then this one's going to be 07 as well. Okay, what's happening? And then this one's going to be 7 as well. Outputs for 1 and 9 overlap. Okay, so that's just because it looks like I had done something here on this Falcon Pi Player in the past. No big deal. We're going to get rid of that in a minute. For testing, yes, you got to do it the old school way. And the expansion. Let's set up the expansion in here as well. We'll do that at the same time. So let's keep on going. All right. Next one is going to be here. 10507. Why is it always on 7? That's seems fishy. Uh-oh. Oh, 700 pixels here. And this is just for testing, right? I'm just going to keep on putting 700. I think I'm only going to need, so if you take 20,000 and divide by 700, and I don't think we're going to need all 32. So 20,000, which we're not going to be quite 20,000, but we're probably going to be in that ballpark. We don't know exactly because, like I said, my calculations was wrong. The math was wrong. Divided by 700, 29. We'll need 29 of them. Okay. Okay, if I had the model, it would do all this for me. Okay, great. Well, that's fine. In this case, okay, got it. Sweet. So Xlights would do all of this for us, or it will do all this for us in the future once we get the model defined. But for now, we'll just have to keep doing it this way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do all 16 outputs from the Culp. And let's keep setting this up. Get out of my way. 12607 and 14707. Oh, no. That's pretty cool that it tells you that it's overlapped. It makes it nice to know that you've got an error. Thank you very much. So who was it? Wim that said he was wanting to do a Xlights show. This is the stuff you got to know. Maybe not this exactly, but this is where you're going to spend a lot of your time, is in these menus and stuff, huh? $25,207. All right, and 31,507. Okay, no errors. Now, the next thing we need to do, we want to do, instead of a differential receiver, that is a lot of channels. Instead of a differential receiver, we need to do this expansion, the 16-port expansion. I'm going to save all what we got right now. Is that going to make me restart? Yep, it's going to make me restart. Okay, that's fine. Now, what do I got to do to add? I'm going to take these out. Labels on just a few of them. Labels on none. What do I have to do to add the ports for the expansion, fellas? It's trickiness. I didn't think about this being this tricky, actually. Not that I'm sure it's not hard. It's just something I don't know, not done before. Okay. I do love that it's testing. That's perfect. That's what we want to know. And I'm sure that the output, like if I just went down the row and plugged them all in, which is what I'm going to do outside later, as it gets to evening, light it all up. This is perfect. But I need the other expansions. So I'm guessing. So I mean, it does do. I guess it does 32. So maybe this already knows. This already knows, doesn't it? That's what's happening here. Sorry, I was looking at this and thinking there's 4. It's got these differential receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I was thinking that is going to correspond to these Ethernet jacks here, which I'm sure normally it does. However, because I've got the ribbon cable connected to this other expansion board, it has already put my ports in here, hasn't it? Yes, it has. Okay. So now we just keep on going. We got 700 more pixels. And then should we change that to, we do this at the same time, 33607. 700 more. 35 707. And then 700 here. It goes up to 32. So I think it's done it. It seems to me that's what it's done. We can test it. We will test it because I can just as easily connect a row of pixels to this other expansion. Expansions at the bottom, there's none. Oh, expansion type. Oh. You have to tell it. Okay. It sure seems like, so the differential receiver. So I was right initially. This is about the Ethernet ports. Okay, down to the bottom, and then expansion type standard. No, stop. Okay. You want to call in turtle? That's okay too. I would like these. So these we just skip. And then we just go down here to this expansion. The differentials is for the RJ45 ports. Thank you, Marsh. And then, so standard is what I want. Okay, so now I have to start from here. Number 33, even though number 33 is not number 33. It picks up after 32. Skip those. Okay, great. Cool. Man, you guys are the best. How about something awesome for the pixel heads? Just because you guys are the awesomest. Thanks for being so awesome. Thanks for being awesome to me. Thanks for being awesome to everybody else in the community that comes up with your help. You guys are the best. Cannot say enough how great you guys are. Thank you. All right, so I got to go to 33607. 33607. This is where this one's going to start, right here. 33607, and then I'm going to do 700, right? Yeah, baby. Hey, Edwin. What does this do? Yeah, I guess that's... All right, so now we're going to keep going. 35, now we're back on track. 707. Put 700 more there. And 37807. This is perfect. This is exactly what I'm going to need tonight. 39906. Oops, 7. 42007. 44107. I was thinking about if I had a good way to, and I could have done it from my phone. I could have just streamed from the phone outside. It's a little hot. If I had a good way, I would love to take you guys outside with me to do some connections. Maybe tonight. Do you guys want? What do you think? If I, as I get close to done, should I like, I don't know, fire up? You guys want to see it live for the first time? If I go outside as I'm getting done tonight and stream the initial testing, I won't be able to interact very much because I'll be kind of occupied. Yes, yes. All right then. Okay. We'll do it. We'll do it. What is this other thing? Group count. Guess I don't need that. Is that a real question? You guys are awesome. All right then. That'll be fun. That will be fun. I was watching a live stream on YouTube the other day. It was a guy making a he has a machine that 3D prints houses, and he was 3D printing a house. What is the alert? It probably just that it needs to be rebooted. Yeah, because I saved a change. So we're getting close. What did I say? It said we needed 29, right? Because it was 28 and a half or something. So we'll go a couple more. This one is 29, 30, 31, 32. Yeah, this will be the last one. Okay. Sweet. 55807. 700. 58. 807. Okay, there we go. All right. We're going to save this. And then see the alert, and the alert's going to say we got to restart, and we're going to restart. And then we're going to wire up a pigtail. Oh, actually, I have one. I was trying to do as much stuff as I could in my office before going out there and dealing with stuff. So I have, like I said, a bunch of pigtails, and I even have some pigtails set up for this expansion. I don't have them all set up yet. So just because I don't have enough pigtails, I could get more, but I think what I'm going to do is just cut off the other ends. Just cut off the end of the last string of pixels. And then my sister's texting me, how's it going? Aren't you watching my stream, sister? Come on. Okay. So if I now plug this into, I'm going to plug it into channel number 2, just because it's there. And then I'm going to tell it to test. It says testing. Nothing happening. Oh, this is not powered up. Okay. That's why. Let's do this a little differently. Okay, I'm going to power down for a minute. Power down. I guess I can just swap this one over to that one. Let's just do that. Woo! What do you know? The 100 amp. What do you know? The 100 amp power server things get hot. Big surprise. Cannibalizing power cords from my 3D printers. Okay, now. Oh, there they go. Just like that. Sounds like a dang plane taking off, but they're working. So that's coming off of the expansion board now. It's coming off of this. Okay. We're ready. Ready for testing, baby. Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. What do you guys use to put all this in? Like, I know we talked about it a little bit, and I know Turtle makes some really cool things. Need to go to sleep till next stream. Barry, we'll be back on in a few hours. We'll finish up here. Well, John's gonna hop on hopefully, and we're gonna start planning Atlas number 2. And then once it cools off a little bit outside, I'm gonna go outside and now that I've got this ready to test, I'm gonna take it outside, plug it all in, and get it. Keep going on the thing while it's all connected. Gotta get it actually wired and connected. It's gonna be pretty fun. I'm actually quite excited. Ammo cans. The ammo cans, I just don't know if it's big enough. And I've got these big power supplies now. And the expansion board, the Culp board, and the power supplies. Like, it's a lot of stuff. Okay. I'm gonna power this off now. I don't need it to be powered on anymore. And then I'll rearrange it. Let's do that. I'm gonna actually turn these off here so that I can control when they power on. Like the plane is landing. With the Culp, just turn off the power here. Yep, great. Turned it off. Awesome. Perfect. I am gonna need. I'm gonna need to make sure I've got. Well, actually, I don't need the Pelican case. Maybe. Oh, calling in on Discord. Oh yeah. Streamer mode is enabled. Tech Turtle, you thinking? Seems like a lot of channels too. Storage totes. I think that's what I'm going to use, Marcius, storage totes. A big bummer. I don't know if this configuration will work. Uh-oh. Dude. You there? Can you hear me? Turtle, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Are you there?
Yeah. Let me make sure everybody can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay. Let's make sure.
All right.
I don't, no bad news allowed, dude.
I'm thinking we have a bit of a problem.
Okay. What's the problem?
The problem I think we have is when you go to upload this from Xlights is going to want you to have this all in consecutive ports. When we started port 1 and we skip those ports, we're going to have a problem uploading this, and then we're going to have to shadow model it.
Okay.
If you have 4 extra receivers that you can fill in to those other ports, and you could do 4 extra, I don't really want to tell you this, but 4 extra boxes, that would be the better thing so that we're not skipping those ports.
Okay. I have 2.
Well, we really just don't want to skip those ports, because if you skip those ports and then you try to drag and drop and upload, we're going to have to do shadow models, which is what we were trying to avoid.
Okay.
But it's right now you can test it like it is, but my problem with you going out there and wiring it like it is, then you're going to have to rewire it when we redo the whole model and get it in the right ports. So you can change it. You can change it at the controller level and change the port at the controller level at that point, or you could just wait and do 2 more receivers and then fill in those ports.
Now, if I fill in those ports, so filling in those ports, would I use those then instead of this expansion board?
You Well, you're gonna have. Well, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, that would. Yeah, that would be better actually. So that way you're not skipping those ports. And then that would be 4 4. Yeah.
Dang. So there's no way to.
I mean, you can use the expansion board, but we're gonna have to in the model and X lights. We'll have to use shadow model.
Okay, which we don't want to do.
I mean, you can. It's just more work, and then it's more work when you have to go tinker with this yourself.
Yeah. Well, let's try and let's. I'm all for setting it up the best way possible the first time. So if it's better to use differential receivers, and
Just
instead,
because of the way X lights work, just the way X lights works right now, they want you to keep a single model in consecutive ports.
dang.
So when you
and then
split it
there's
up
no
like
way
that, they don't want you to skip.
for Falcon Pi Player.
That's why.
There's no way to
I
delete
messaged
these.
Culp right before I called you. I messaged while you were live. I messaged Culp and I said, "Hey, is there any way for me to skip those ports?" And he said no. He said the only way to do it is shadow model. So that confirmed what I was thinking. So that's why I called.
All right, good. Well, hey, perfect. Then everything is working as it should.
But yeah, you can test it like that right now. But in theory, you want to grab 2 more receivers, and I'm sure one of us pixel heads will pick up that thing if you want to sell it or something.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad we're doing this. I'm glad we're catching it now. So, is there I remember when I did buy the 2 that I have, the 2 little differential boards, I bought them from 2 different places to test out different ones. Is there a preference? Is there a better?
It does not matter. It does not matter as long. All you're looking for is something to fill those ports from 9. The 4 ports basically is all you're trying to do. You're not chaining behind it, so therefore smart or dumb doesn't matter. Okay. So any smart receiver on the market right now would fill your gap in what you need.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if they mix match or whatever. You're a smart receiver or a receiver is the same.
Okay. I'm searching on Culp lights.
I know Culp has receivers. I don't know if he's got them in stock. He has the square ones. Wired Watts might have some. Wizard of Wire usually has some that will plug into those 90 or those power supplies too. I don't know if he's got any in stock, but he's got some that are receivers as well. There's a few options out there that we can look into, but this right now you can set it up to test that way, but just be prepared that you'll have to change those ports later on.
Okay. All right. That's great. That's fine. That doesn't slow me down tonight. It still lets me get where I need to get. In fact, it doesn't slow me down at all really, because my progression of work here is get the rest of it strung, get all the rings done, make sure it's all working, and then get the count to you guys. Count all the pixels, get you guys the count so you can make the model. And in the meantime, I can get these other 2 expansion boards that we need. Okay. Man, good catch, dude. I'm so glad you're paying attention.
It took me a second to realize that when we were skipping those ports and doing all that, I was like, wait, that's going to physically mess up X lights. So we will have to shadow model that in the process, which is not impossible to do. But when you're by yourself and you're wanting to throw something on for the family or something like that, that's going to be more work for you in the long run to mess with when you just want a spear to throw something on.
Right. Okay. Dude, good catch. I'm gonna look at my closet and see if I see what I have for these expansion boards.
Right. You only need 4 of them. You need something to fill in those 4 spots. That's it. Just say we're not skipping anything. All right. Well, I'll let you go. Let you get back to live stream. Hi, everybody, and I will see y'all later.
Thanks, Turtle. Thanks for saving the day.
No problem.
I'll spend like 30 seconds looking for these. If I don't find them, then I won't waste the time on the stream.
Oh, you're good. All right. Bye, y'all.
All right. Well, I spent my 30 seconds. I can't find it. Anyways, great save. Thanks so much, Turtle and the guys for figuring that out. Let's look for these expansion boards. And it doesn't need to be, so it doesn't need to be smart ones, right? So just differential receivers. Let's go. Probably FPP. Yep, like that. So $20 for this one. This is from, I don't know where this is from. ESP Art Stick. Wired watts. Culp says he has a K32 available. Does he? That is intriguing. So why don't we just do that? Turtle, how about I just get the K32 and call it good, and then we don't have to mess with any of this. I like that plan. Tell him it's sold. Does he just have the one? Sorry, Brian. Sorry to disappoint you. We avoided the major fail. Yeah, let's just do that. I'm not even looking at what it costs because that doesn't matter. So I already have, oh, it does have the K32. Great. Now, here's the deal. I'm not going to keep this thing forever. The one that we have right here. This is going to, at some point, we're going to sell this. And when I do sell it, I want to just sell the whole thing altogether, gone. So I'll probably just go ahead and get, especially if it's a little bit for the beagle bone, but I think it's just better to do that. Oh, sorry, we were still on the call. Okay, I can just buy it. Let's just get it over with. That would be so much easier, right? Okay, let's do it. Add to cart. Okay, I'm gonna put that over here. We'll check out later. I'll check out when it's time. Okay, sweet. All right, well, dang, that's gonna make it easy. Now, let's talk about power. I probably should have had you stay on. Let's talk about power. How is that Culp 32? Let's go back to this page for a sec. How is this? Okay, so I can still connect in fact, I could connect the 400 amp ones if I wanted to. Okay, so that's really no different. I just wanted to make sure that I had the number of power terminals here. Marsh says, if you need somebody to hold on to that K16, you know what? I have so many of these things. I'm gonna have to. Well, what I'm gonna have to do is actually make a show. But so now I'm gonna have an extra K16. I'm gonna have an extra expansion board. I already have 2 of the extra differential boards. And when we started this project, I bought a new K16. Oh gosh, don't tell my wife. So you pixel heads, you also buy all the things, right? And you spend more money than you would like to admit. But you actually have a show. I don't even have a show. Chat prize giveaway. I tell you what, the pixel heads deserve it, no doubt. It's all 4 banks, same setup. Help us to not skip the ports. Yeah, totally. Well, I don't think we knew when we started this how many ports we were going to need. So, John says he's going to be a little bit late, but I think we can well, let's start talking a little bit about version 2. All right. Shh, I don't buy anything. I mean, everybody's wife except Marsh. We don't tell the wives what we spend. I don't either. But you know what? This is, I'm sure like maybe Turtle. I don't know if any of you other guys, I know what like DrZzs was, isn't he making sequences and stuff? You know, we have to like somehow make business out of this, and maybe it's you guys hopefully get some donations or some things. So all the money from selling things, controllers and things, just goes to doing this kind of stuff anyways. That's the first rule of being a pixel head. Don't talk about what you spend. Got it. Oh, you know what we can do? Maybe this would be, maybe instead of, we could talk about number, hold on, let me tell my sister I'm streaming. We could talk about version 2 of the Atlas. Or we could look at my backyard and determine if we're gonna, what to do about the show. Let's do that. I think I'd like to get some input on that again. The size of the cardboard box is inversely proportional to the contents. Wives don't suspect small boxes. Whoever buys this is going to need a 30 amp circuit to power it. Yeah, no kidding. We'll see. I'm going to put it on a smart outlet so that I can see how much power it's really drawing. And then we'll make a determination. Hey Alex, how you doing? So let me I just took some new pictures of my house today, the backyard. So let me send those over to myself, because some things in the backyard have changed a little bit. The biggest problem I'm seeing with the backyard is we've got this big flipping tree now. Oh shoot! This tree in the backyard that just keeps growing, and I think probably normal people would trim it. But I have not done that yet. Wish I could airdrop to a PC from an iPhone. Sell a generator with it? Yeah, no, that's probably not a bad idea. My guess, 1500 watts because the power supplies can only output 1200. For your guests are good enough for like the total power requirement of this whole thing? Well, I'm talking about putting it all on one outlet. I know, and you guys know, I have always sort of walked the line on electricity and really banked on having the I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the safety factor, the fudge factor, or whatever. I know in this case I'm getting close. I know, and trees do just keep on getting bigger, don't they, Alex? Doggone things, they do just keep on getting bigger. All right, let's see. Grab these pictures of the backyard with the K32. We got one supply. No, actually, I'm still gonna do. I think I should still do at least 2. SG. I think I should do at least 2. But I'm gonna measure it. Breaker testing. We're just gonna test the breakers. We're gonna test the breakers. Now here's a real. I think I told you guys we talked about this on a couple stream a little while back too. The Ford Lightnings, right? They're sitting in the dealership lots right now. And how would it be to have something like this monstrosity of a pixel globe on the back of being pulled on a trailer behind a Ford Lightning and just plugged in there? I think that would be pretty cool. 911 on speed dial. All right, let's fire up X lights. And I think I actually still have do think I still have keep this guy over here too, because I got to go back there and buy that thing. Tell Mr. Culp thank you. Turtle, tell him thank you. Rent this thing out to Ford. No kidding, right? Outdoor sockets you could use. I could probably, the city has a park right here behind us. So I could probably just connect to something in the park. Don't you think? That thing's powered off now. Yeah, Jeff, that's what I'm thinking. I've got a, they're only, the smart ones I have are only 16 amps, but I think if I'll do it tonight. Like what I will do, this is how I'm going to do it. All right. So a little bit of joking aside, I will go connect this up tonight. It'll be 2 power supplies. It'll be the Culp. It'll be the expansion board. It'll be plugged into one smart outlet that has power monitoring. Right now, there's, like I said, maybe 12,000 pixels connected. I'll put it on the test mode. Is there a way to turn down the brightness on the test mode? Because that seemed kind of bright. Anyways, and I will watch how much power it's using as I'm adding pixels. As I continue to go around and add more strings in the rings around, I will monitor how much power it's using, and then we'll determine at what point do we go to a second breaker. Sorry, I couldn't stay on the phone. Family over and had to step outside, and it's hot. Hey, Tech Turtle, thank you so much, dude, just for taking the time. You're great. You're great. Say hi to the fam. Tell them I'm sorry. The president's on the phone or something. The test mode inside the FPP software to turn down the brightness. Okay. Do you guys always go to the latest version of X-Lights, or how often do you upgrade? So I would not bridge together 2 outputs from the same supply. Bridge one supply to the other each point. Together 2 outputs from the same supply. Oh, okay. So Sir Goodenough, what you're saying is, instead of having, help me understand what you're saying. So you're saying, because I'm using these wires and I've got 2 inputs on like the Culp and 2 inputs on the expansion, I'll have 4 inputs on the, so parallel them from, so you would mix and match. Is that what you're saying? So, well, it's, in the 6, when I get the Culp 32, it's all going to the same board. So what I was going to do is just 2 outputs, or basically 2 number 10 wires from the power supply. I should say 4 number 10 wires, 2 positives, 2 negative, from the power supply to one side of the Culp. 2 number 10 positives, 2 number 10 negatives from the other power supply to the other side of the Culp. Is that what you mean? Or did you mean something else? Seems every time I fire up X-Lights, there's a new version. True that, right? I'm going to skip it for right now, just so we don't wait for the thing. No, you mean switch them. You mean 2 from one to one side, 2 from the other power supply to the other side, and like cross them. So it's so each of these is getting a power from a different one. What does that do for us? I don't doubt you. You're smarter about these things than I am, for sure. I'm curious for my learning. Each output will do 25 amps. So using half the supply will not help you. Oh, each output. Okay. In the end, it won't matter because it's all going to be on one. In the end, it won't matter. It'll be multiple. Power supply 1, 4 outputs to 4. Oh, I see what you're saying. Instead of putting them to different ones, put them all to the same ones. I see. Solar park and put it direct on the mains. It's going to be 200 and 430 amps. 12,000 pixels. Okay, let's do this. Then you can 50 amps per lug. Can these amps do that? So what you're saying, I see what you're saying. I know what Sir Goodenough is saying now, I think. Each of these is 25 amps, right? Each output on here is 25 amps. So if we don't do 4 of these, we're not getting all of it anyways. Because each one of those wires is only going to do 25. So 2 wires from here to there. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I just don't know if these lugs on these expansions are even supposed to take that much. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. All right. So I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to change the show directory. Right now it's on Project Atlas. We're going to change it to something else. Instead of Project Atlas, we're going to go, we're going to change it to, we're going to make a new folder. And we're going to call it Edenville Show. We're going to call it Backyard Show. What? Not actually, we're just going to call it Backyard Show. Backyard Show. Okay. Oh. Let's try it again. Backyard Show. Okay, there's not going to be anything in there. Okay. Do I have a thermal camera? I do have a thermal camera, Brett. That's a great idea. I do have a thermal camera. I think it's up at the Hobbit house, but I'll be up there next weekend. Hire a generator. 30 amps for each of the inputs. So we're really going to have to make sure we keep it down. Oh, some call it fun. How you doing? So 30 amp for the power terminals on the Culp. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll have to be careful we don't melt this thing down, I guess. Right. So the layout on this thing, I don't think I need the 3D layout. I remember how to do this. And maybe we don't need to do it in here just yet. Let's look at the pictures that I just sent myself. Oh yeah, I downloaded those over here. And secret plans. And I just extracted these. Let's find them. Yeah, these are the pictures here. Right? Yeah, there it is. So can you see that? So this is the backyard, and this is the view from like the middle of the park. And no YOLO it. You're trying to be a fun killer, Todd. You guys are. I'm starting to wonder if you have my best interest at heart. Yeah, I will get it, and I will. We'll put it on there eventually. Today probably won't. Okay, so here's the, and actually we can edit it right on here, right? We can kind of just look at it. So in years past, when we planned this flipping tree was not this big, right? Quindo needs to develop a new power board to control with this sphere. T supplies at max can draw 13 amps per, so 26 total max. Okay. So yeah, this was just earlier today. So this is what we got. So what I've always considered I would do is things like this. Let's do some edits. So the edit button. Great. I just like paint. Can I put some? Nope, that's not what I want. Markup. Yeah, markup. That's what we want. Okay. Let's change this to something like red so we can see it. So some easy things like low-hanging fruit here. Oh, now it won't let me zoom. Low-hanging fruit. I think we need something on this window right here. And actually, we like never open this window. So this could be a matrix. That might not be a bad idea. But at the very least, we will put an outline on here. These windows are really cool, and I want to have all of them outlined. That's always been my plan. My plan has always been to outline these lights, or these windows. But this bleeping tree is in the way now. Turn your tree into a real mega tree. Okay, I would love for that to be a real thing. Cut odd 5 foot up and supports Atlas number 2. I think I'm going to have to just get out there and just buzz this baby. Just get this thing down to size, you know? So one of the things I have thought about, Turtle, is exactly what you're talking about. And I don't know how best to do that. I would have to trim it at the very least, right? Let's just delete this for a minute. I would have to trim that tree. I'm going to use a pencil instead. This markup thing. So I'd have to trim this tree way back. And then I thought maybe what I'll do, we have this Permatrack stuff that we got from Canada. We were in a long story. You guys have heard it probably before, but anyways, I've got a bunch of it, and it's 6 foot lengths. So I could kind of overlap it, put 2 of them together, and make it, easily 11 foot or something like that. 11, almost 12 foot lengths of Permatrack. Put the pixels in there, and then it's pretty long and it's pretty sturdy. And then I could lay it on the tree. The Atlas won't always be here, but it will be here for this winter, I would bet. Best size would be 6 inches of stump. Put strip down it, top to bottom, and zip tie it. Would you just do it so top to bottom? So just do strips like that. Just strip, strip, strip down. I'm gonna have to get out the Permatrack and see about doing that. So this tree is one thing we need to do, and I'm all for it. Number one, it has to get trimmed back. So we got to trim this tree way back, right? Beyond that, why can't I zoom anymore? That's lame. Beyond that, we'll trim it back and we'll light it up. Okay. Other things that I want to do, or things that I think are important to do. Under here, like I want to put lights. I think we may have talked about this before. I want to put lights under the steps like that. And I was going to go all the way to the edge, but I think maybe I'll just do one side. What do you think? Just one side of the edge of the steps. And maybe not even this bottom one, because most of the time in the winter around here, that bottom one's going to be in the snow anyways. Okay, there it went. It went away. So do those. And then over here, here's something else to think about. Wasn't paying full attention. Suddenly heard Doc talking about stripping. We've got this deck, the deck here, and these bars. Wouldn't it be fun to have these bars lit up like this? I think it would be kind of cool to have the bars lit up as well, all the way. Right? That would be kind of good. Trim it too far, you might kill it. You need a dwarf variety. Cut it down. Yeah, this tree is... I don't know. I'm going to try and convince the wife. I'm not sure what we're going to do with it. It's just a pain in the butt tree. Nobody really... I love trees. Trees are great. But man. Yeah, the bars could be a matrix, right? The bars could totally be a matrix, or the semblance of a matrix, right? It doesn't have to be solid all the way through. It could just be on the bars themselves. But there's enough of them and they're close enough together that you could get some image through there, or they could also work just like, like sticks, like they're just boop, 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 boop. So around these windows, I think this is an important one too. around these windows. Now my pencil's not hardly showing up anymore, but I think I got to do around the windows. It's too big to be too close to the house. Oh, John's here. Woohoo! Just butcher it, or she'll get rid of it. Well, I may just butcher it so much that it dies. So something here. I feel like I know what. Oh, it's something up here as well. We could go around this, and then we talked in the past about having like here be, you know, one of those. Gosh, that's a horrible circle, but have a circle, you know, kind of one of those. Well, I'm just gonna do a bunch of stuff in here now, but you know what I'm talking about. One of those fancy things in there, right? Blocking my mountain view, it would just be gone. Oh, you got that right, right? Okay, lose the tree. All right, I'll tell the wife today. So then this tree would, well, the tree's going to be gone. Tree's going to be gone. Who we fooling? Who we fooling? The tree's going to go away. John, you want to try and do something, or what do you want to do? The new DrZzs logo. Well, that we'll have to definitely have it so that it would display the logo up here. I think we had talked about putting like 3 things in a row or something up here, but I definitely think we need something up here. And then, I mean, I don't know. I guess we just do all the windows. Obviously, we have the roof line along here already done, and here. And what else? I think that's pretty good. I do have lights along here. Whoops, and under here. This window should also be outlined, although it's going to be mostly blocked by the flippin' tree. Yeah, that tree is just hampering my style. I think I just outline all the windows. You should just do all the windows. I thought about that, Sir Goodenough. Should we do something with the solar panels? Should we, you know, line the solar panels somehow? Go in between them or do something up there. I think this would be, we got to be realistic here. This is a little bit crazy. So John, what we're doing is we're kind of planning my backyard light show with X lights and stuff, but that would be kind of cool. Made so the neighborhood children could play tic-tac-toe. Oh, that would be fun on the windows. Yeah, I think it's shaped like a tree, kind of. Yeah, you know what? It kind of is shaped like a tree, isn't it? Like that, you mean? Well, let's we'll come back to this. This is kind of what I'm thinking, though. I think the main stuff is going to be, obviously, deal with the tree. After the tree is dealt with, I think window outlines, deck, stair lines, and railing lines here. And that's probably pretty good. Net matrix on the windows. I could certainly net matrix this window because we don't ever open this. So we could net matrix this one pretty easily. I would like to leave a lot of this up most of the year. And if I was going to go around these windows, I would try and leave that up, all these windows, so that it's always up. You're in Discord. Okay, cool. So we're going to switch over. We'll keep working on this as time goes on. But I wanted to kind of start thinking about how am I going to plan this out? And are we doing anything on the castle? Again, these trees have gotten so much bigger. The castle used to be a lot more visible, and it's not so visible now. I had a plan to put a matrix on the castle up here. That would do no good now because this tree is in the way. I have lights on the castle. They probably need an update. I mean, I have the windows lit up, the window trims. Probably what I should do.
Steve Van Russell super chat 10 pounds towards the chainsaw fund.
Thank you. We're going to do the squirrel for you, Steve. Thank you for the chainsaw fund. Mrs. would go bonkers on us if we would be able to do very bad ideas and yes, she knows. But maybe just the windows on the castle. Because I already have some of them done, so maybe I could just do some of the windows on the castle. Something like that. I don't know. Anyways, let's go to John. The squirrels won't have a home. Yeah, the trees. Oh, the trees. I love the trees. I don't want to be a grump with the trees. Might be a dumb question, but how would you run power to the windows while hiding the wires? Great question. Never a dumb question, Redbeard. Never a dumb question. So what I think I would do, we'll get there, John, in just a sec. So for these windows here, I would power them from down below. So the wires would be down below for this window. For this window, and this window, I would actually go through the soffit right there. I would go into the attic is what I think I would do. Potentially, I could, run along the roof here. And then, that's not going to be much better. I could go down. But I'm not against going inside the attic and doing some of this. And then, especially because, it's all up against the house anyways. So these ones on the outside down here, I'd run down and power it from out here. This one, there's an outlet there, but I would probably, I'd probably put it over here. Just go down the side over on this side and power over here. And then this one and this one, I would go up into the attic. Because right now I've got lights up there, and that's how I power the lights that are up there. They go up through the soffit into the attic. Save the tree fund. Okay, let's head over to John. Real quick. I'm going to save that. Letting my ink dry. Let's get John in here for a minute, and we'll talk about, we may not have a ton of time, John, to really get into it, and that's okay. We kind of put you on the spot anyways. Last night, right? We're talking about what we would do today, potentially on the stream, but let's, don't forget this. Forget about this all the time. All right, in Discord, John's in Discord. There's no exit button on this. Okay, there it is. Oh, here he is. Here we go. All right, John, you there?
Yep, I'm here. Let me mute you on the other.
Yeah.
There we go. Yep.
Okay, sweet. All right, let me pop out your window here. See what I can do. Get you up here. God,
Okay.
this window's so big. So, and then we'll probably we'll have you go to a whatchamacallit window anyways in a minute, right?
Yeah. So basically what I was thinking of talking with you guys about is a couple things. So we've got the Atlas, and it's coming along, and it's looking really good. But we know that a lot of you have expressed interest on a smaller version of an Atlas. So we're thinking about it and how to go about that for you guys. One question I have, and I'd be curious to see if you guys can answer this for me, is how many of you have 3D printers or have access to 3D printers? Let us know in chat. I'm curious.
And there's always a delay, so it'll take them by the time it'll be. Yeah. They live 30 seconds in the past.
Oh my goodness!
30 seconds in the future.
So,
because the question is, how do we make it? Do we make it 3D printable or go some other way?
Okay. It looks like we've got a lot of people with 3D printers. Okay. So, and then the other question is, what size would you guys want? I can try and design it in such a way that I can easily switch it between like 20 foot and a half, 2 feet, 2.5 feet. But I'm curious what you guys would like if I were to design this and only get one size. But I think I can design it and be able to switch it out. But if I could only design it and get one size out of it, what size would you guys like?
This is awesome.
Yeah. So I'm kind of personally leaning toward an 18-inch or a 2-foot one. I think 2 feet is probably a pretty good. Let's see. Okay.
And yeah, so Sergey makes the point that when we do it, we will slice it up so that it can be printed on sort of the standardist, most normal size printers.
Yeah, exactly. For many different reasons. First off, I hate printing large things. Oddly enough, the hippo heads went amazingly well, but I was so nervous to get those started. Like I was certain we would have several failures, but luckily nothing happened. Like it was just a really good print. But so we would design it in such a way that it could be printed on an Ender 3 size, not a Pro, just the regular small size, because the parts are going to be somewhat flat. And the hippos were a 2-day print. They were a full 2-day print. Anyway, so we have to design it in such a way that the parts they're going to be more or less flat, because if we make lots of rings, right, then they're going to be flat parts. And I hate printing flat parts because the edges always curl, right?
Yeah.
So we've got to try and get it in such a way that the parts are small enough, because if they're small enough, then it's not flat, it's more squarish. And then it should be, or rectangular, then it would be a lot easier to print. So that's one of the things we want to try and work toward. It looks like about 2 feet. What do you see there, Justin?
So 40 centimeters is 18 inches thereabouts. And that's the civilized. It's 40 centimeters in civilized units.
Yes.
18 inches in barbarian measuring system.
Yeah, sorry. I'm a hybrid. I use barbarian and higher education systems.
So we got a vote for 2 feet. Marsh says 2 or 3 feet. I thought I saw somebody else that was talking about.
Beck says 2.
Yeah. Not a lot of other strong opinions. So 18 inches versus 2 feet, guys. What do you think? If we're probably 2 feet, but it's John, it can be a factor of how it fits on the board too, or how it fits on the deck, right, of the printer.
Exactly. So
Mark, Mark's asking, what do we need the size for? We're making version 2 of the Atlas. We're in the planning stages for version 2, and we're going to do it smaller, so people can 3D print their own and make their own.
And I'd imagine that if it's a 2-foot sphere, we want it to be a complete sphere and be able to hang it from whatever.
Yeah, to be able to hang it would be really cool too. So if you get too big, then hanging it or mounting it starts to be a little bit more tricky. But I think 2 feet and no bigger, and 50 to 60 centimeters, that's probably going to be about the 2-foot range as well. So bigger, you make more power if it needs to be hotter. The hotter it gets. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Why don't we say 2 feet?
All right.
Split the difference and go 20 inches.
Yeah. Yeah, that's possible. And then
you can find the right size that will fit on the board that's in between there,
a laser bed. Okay.
Oh yeah. Turtle's got a laser cutter. He's got like you do. He's got a laser cutter.
They're amazing. They're amazing, but they aren't. They're a little bit more.
And we are going to break X
not
lights
as
by trying to
ubiquitous
make it
as the
full
3D
sphere.
printers right now. Yeah. Okay. Another 2-footer. All right. So I'll start working towards the 2-foot version, and then I'll try and if I'm smart enough with the CAD, which depends on.
He's really good with
Well,
the CAD. Don't let him tell you he's not. He's
you can do it in such a way that you can just change a couple numbers and the whole thing will resize correctly. So I'll try and make sure that that's happening. But okay.
And you have a strip, right? I gave you one of those strips of the IP65 pixel.
Yeah,
they're not pixels as much. They're
I got
LED
some
strip.
around here.
I can get you some more if you have. Because of the other goal for this, especially since it's going to be smaller, it's even more important that our pixel density be higher. So right now, the Atlas, the 8-foot size, it's an inch horizontal and vertical between pixels. We're going to about half an inch. We're going to go, I'm pretty sure it was 12 millimeters was what we had looked at being the distance between. If you get a strip of LEDs that is 60 LEDs per meter on the strip, they're 12 millimeters apart.
And Flix, I'm most likely going to use Onshape for a number of different reasons. Mostly it's free, and it's a really good CAD system. I really like it. It allows everyone to share the design and stuff like that, and so I love being able to in this digital economy where we can just easily share stuff. Sharing CAD files typically is a disaster where you have to export it, share it, but with this web version one, it's really nice. So add an email and they can share it. So that's what I'm planning on using. Okay. Do we
being small? Matt says that being smaller, does it need to be outdoor? I think it does not need to be outdoor, and there certainly might be some folks that would want to use it indoor. It's almost if it's indoor, probably everybody would agree you want it even a little smaller.
Yeah.
But the goal is still going to be outdoor and with IP65 strips. I've already started to try and figure out how we're going to wire the strips on there. That's going to be tricky. There's going to be a seam, and we may, John, as we're playing with this, there may need to be a gap. It may not be where it comes around the back at the seam. It may not be pixel to pixel in the back, because there's just going to have to be some way it's going to have to be wires, I think. And it's going to have to go from the end of one pixel strip to the beginning of the other one on the next level down. And there's just not going to be a way that I can think of to do that very good without some space.
Yeah.
Especially if we want the wires to go inside. You know, we want the wires to go inside the thing so that they can all go out the top or out the bottom, whichever way you want to orient it. Somebody says a spiral sphere.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know what that would do to X lights, Jor. What do you think? Jor's a pixel head guy. He knows that. Careful trimming, you lose the top.
If you spiral it and then hang it off axis, so then it corrects itself, that might be a way to do it.
Maybe. If you're making it smaller, maybe the center, make it waterproof enclosure space for a Dig quad, so that way it's all self-contained unit, and that would need to run power from the globe. We'll think about we'll think about how to access it from the top or the bottom. Possible to spiral strip on the globe. We might have to think about that. We might have to think about the spiral part. That I guess we would need all of this is breaking X lights.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah. We are forcing an evolution, Turtle. We're forcing an X lights to evolve.
Yeah, we'll keep pushing the envelope until something happens.
Okay. We'll that's for future us to worry about.
Yeah, that's right. Those
Those
guys are doing a lot of work.
Yeah, they're gonna hate us. Well, so that's, I mean, I hadn't really thought too much about the spiral, so that's something to consider. We may need to prototype a couple things. You know, we had talked, John, about like going to the craft store and getting like those foam balls, because don't they even have like big styrofoam sort of balls
Oh yeah.
that we could carve a little bit, or we could even just stick the strips on those and just see how it works.
Yeah.
Make the top 1/5 twist off.
And why that? Why just for access to the center flicks?
Somebody was talking about if you did this, we'll have to see how many pixels it ends up being. It shouldn't be terribly huge amount, being only 2 feet around. But they were talking about running it instead of, you know, like somebody, instead of running it on X lights, you might just want it as the primary piece. And then all you're going to have it do is run like wLED. And if you had it run wLED and you put, you know, the Uno or something or quad or something inside of it, then all you would have to do is basically just plug it in. And all the controls and everything would be contained inside. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be hanging out in the X-Lite Zoom room and someone comes. I made one of those DrZzs sphere things. I need some help. And DrZzs is not available.
So true.
All right. Well, what other considerations? Let's just make sure so we know if we do, how could we do some quick math here, John, and figure out some things about like how many rows it would have and how many how many rings it would have and what the circumference would
we
be
know
on
that
ring.
it's if we do, what was it, 50 centimeters?
Probably, yeah.
50 centimeters, and the height of each of strip, or the density is,
let me grab one.
12 millimeters, right? So that'd be 40 some odd rows, if I'm right on the density.
Okay, this is not the IP65s, but it doesn't matter. This is
If I remember right, we looked at this the other day. It was like 12 millimeter spacing, and then the strip. No,
it's 10. So the strip is 10 millimeters wide.
Yeah,
or tall. I guess you would look at it that way and say it's tall. And then from pixel to pixel. Oh man. Oof. That's 15. Huh.
It's 15 wide.
Well,
No, 15.
These are 15 wide. I think we might want it more dense than that. Let's look at it and see. I'm just going to pull up some pixel strip dimensions.
So what's the pain point in strips? Why does everybody seem to hate strips?
I'm excited to hear what they answer. I'll tell you, some of it is repairs. If one of them goes bad, it's pretty painful to cut them out.
They fail.
Yeah. There's George's first answer is they fail.
Nope, never repaired one. I would just swap out an entire row again.
Yeah, that can be awful. Most strips are 12 millimeters wide. Okay. I think this was what I was looking at. I think I was looking at this BTF lighting.
They fail in repairs, okay?
I know.
Okay.
One of the problems too is that at least for most of what these guys are doing with the big shows, people are far away, and even the strips that are spaced out as far as they can be, you know, they're still so close together that once you get far away, it doesn't look like a pixel anymore. It looks like a line. And I don't think that's the look that we're going for most things.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so this is showing. I'm trying to. I'd like this to zoom in on this image here. Okay. I don't know if anybody else can see this. Can anybody else see this? Yeah, sort of. Okay. Can you see this, John?
I can see you streaming LED stuff.
Okay. So 60 LEDs per meter. Yeah, this shows it as 12. So I must have a different. The ones that I have in front of me. Oh, you know why? It's 12 from inside to inside. So from middle to middle is when it's going to be 15 probably.
So the spacing is from center to center is 15.
Well, if we do 60 LEDs per meter, we could do, there's other densities too.
Where did I put my notebook?
Yeah, they're about 15, maybe 16, center to center. We may want to go denser. There's
I have no
also
problem with that.
There's also 96 per meter, 100 per meter. Probably 96 per meter. 96 per meter puts it. Let's see, they measure it to the edges. Here, I'll drop this so you can be looking at it. I'll give you this in Discord somehow. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
That way, just the stream chat.
Oh, stream
I'm
chat.
having trouble. Like I don't want to take you off the Discord. So I just put the link in the stream chat. This is BTF lighting giving measurements on LED strips.
Okay.
And so it shows a variety of different densities and how far apart they are. Yeah, Joe likes the nice even 100 per. And I'm thinking about, you know, the width of the strip, and because we want the height to match the width.
Yeah.
So however far apart they are spaced horizontally, we want the same spacing vertically. Which probably means, I mean, that's why I'm looking at 96 as probably the best or the closest, because basically you want, or maybe 100 would be. How big is one of these? Let's see. We're going to do this right. So 5 millimeters, the 1 pixel is, yeah, they're 50/50s, right? So they're that 50, I guess, I don't know what those are micros, but they're 5 millimeters by 5 millimeters is the size of the actual LED itself, just the LED. So so you want the distance from center to center to be about 6. The distance from, it's 96, it's 5.4. And if you add 2.5 to that, you're going to end up at about, what is that? 8. So then if you did that, it would be 6 from the middle to the end of the strip would be 6. Maybe we don't need them that Maybe we're going to be in trouble if we try and do it that way. Dang it. You can build the strip ledges in a Z so they overlap as seen from the outside. You know, that's true too. Some of the overlap of the edge of the strip could slide into the part, you know, the ring, so that gets sure. Shrunk down.
So the 100 LEDs per meter, that looks like it's a 10 millimeter.
It does look like it's a 10 millimeter. Yeah, it does. It looks like it's a 10 millimeter strip, and it's 5 in between.
So I'm guessing that means it's also a 10 millimeter pitch, because it kind of looks like 5 millimeter spacing, 5 millimeter size LED, right? So that would be a 10 millimeter pitch.
Yeah.
So I think
that's probably.
I think somebody said it earlier that it does. Joe. Oh, Joe said it. I think that I do agree that it looks like it's more. That's probably where we want to land. But then there's 144.
Stop it. Well, I was just trying to go to the AliExpress BTF lighting store. And they make pretty good. They're not the cheapest, and they make pretty good pixel stuff. So BTF. Okay. And I've been in contact with them. I actually was already telling them, the guy that I have contact with there, that we're doing something like this, and he was ready to. Of course, he's ready to sell me like 1,000 right then.
Of course.
How many you need? You need them right now? I'll give you a discount today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so here's the hundreds, IP65 100s. These are 1 meter at a time. You could probably get them longer if we ask them. Not that it matters too much what they cost, because we have to have them anyways. If we did the eco, they're about $9 for a meter. If we do the non-eco, they're about $11.50 per meter. I think the eco, I don't know what the big difference is with the eco, other than they use less power. There's not going to be quite as many of these, although they are going to be 5 volts, so that's going to be a little bit trickier as far as powering them.
Yeah.
But none of them are going to be that. Like, what's the circumference on a 2-foot circle, right? It's not that big.
Let me get it.
I'll race you. If it's, what did we decide it was? 50? Oh, the radius would be 25, say. What did you say it was? What are you going with?
40 centimeters? No, 50 centimeters, right?
So the circumference would be 157.
Yeah.
So 1.5 meters.
Yep.
Quindor was gone for 30 minutes. Did anything blow up yet? We almost destroyed X-Lights. We determined. We're working on it. Yeah. We're working on version 2 already, Quindor. We're already going on to version 2.
A 3D printed version 2.
So that's not too bad. I mean, that's so then if you think about how many from top to bottom. So if you take that 50 and just divide it by 10.
Yeah.
So there would be, that's not that many. Wait, 50 centimeters and divided by 1 centimeter. So we'd have 50 rows. We're at 50 rings.
Exactly.
50 rings. Okay. So 50 rings. We'd have to figure out, I don't know how big around each ring is, I guess, but just thinking about how many connections we're going to have. Those are nice even numbers if it works out that way.
Yeah.
For what that's worth. Cobb LEDs have individually adjustable. They are groups of 3. Good question, Matt. All of the ones I've seen are groups of 3. So the Cobb ones are the ones that are so, I think I've shown you, John, they're so close together, and they put a little silicone on them and it looks like a stripe.
Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
The ones I have at the Hobbit House are like that.
Yeah,
and they do those in individually addressables, but they do them at like a section at a time. I don't even think it's 3. It's bigger than that. It's like an inch or a couple inches at a time. But Quindor knows more about it than anybody. Well, maybe there are if there's 5 volts that are that close together. Okay. Anyways, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna take this information and digest it, kind of figure it out. But I think 50 sounds like the right place to start as far as the size, 50 centimeters, and then I think that 100 spacing, 100 LEDs per meter, sounds about like the right one to start.
It may be for anybody who is hoping to build this. I don't think there's a way to do this without soldering LED strips. And it's not, soldering LED strips is not that bad. But I don't see how you do this without that. I mean, maybe, but unlikely. Because you're going to have, if it's 150 something, the circumference around the middle is going to be 150 something centimeters, then you've got, if you're buying strips a meter at a 1 meter lengths, then you're going to have to splice it in the middle. Maybe we can work it out so that you can get longer ones. I'm sure you probably can. And maybe you can just get a whole roll of it and then you just cut it as you need. That's probably the way to do it. Maybe I'll talk to the guys about that. That BTF guys. I'll talk to Quindor. Let's chat too. Let's plan on chatting because I know he's Mr. Master LED strip guy. He knows everything that's available. So maybe we'll pick his brain a little bit too about what we can do and what's available. And if we get the actual strips that we're going to recommend in hand, then you can take actual measurements to do this from instead of kind of going off of their drawings. So yeah, next week probably. Yeah, week and a half.
Yeah. My first priority is I've got to finish editing the video for the hippos, which turned out really awesome.
Yeah, for everybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, so John, you've probably seen shorts, but John made these hungry hippo riding machines, which came out so awesome. That was like the trophy, right? Yeah, that's like the replica. So we took these hoverboards, got the seat on them, and then put this big hungry hippo head on the front. And then we went out. We got a couple friends. You guys probably know Nate and Callie that used to be on King of Random. They live here in town, and they came by and played hungry hippos with us. So there'll be a video coming out about that day and how that went down. It was actually quite a bit of fun, and it was a pretty neat. The more I look at it, and the more I watch us riding around on them, the more I appreciate what a genius idea it was and how fun it could be. So,
yeah, so there was a guy. Oh, Marsh. So I got to get that out. Then I'm going to work on this.
Don't believe him, John. He's just giving you a hard time. He's just giving you grief.
No, I know.
They do that to me all the time.
Yeah, but I do have goals of having something for next week.
Okay. I want to use strips because I hate pushing pixels now. Yeah, me and Jackson we're both nursing blisters from our previous pixel pushing.
Yeah, you guys are rock stars. I pushed, I don't know, a couple hundred, and I was like, oh yeah, this is not awesome.
All right. Well, I'd say we wrap it up today. Anything else? So. Any last minute things? Okay. Let me see if we get any kids up. Do our sign off.
It's time for sign off. It's time for sign off. It's time for sign off.
Why not fit it to 96? 100 just 100 seems like a good divisible size. Hi. Have you been outside? Your shirt's all warm.
No, I was in the theater.
In the toy room where it's nice and hot. Okay. Should we
The
all?
reason why I like 100 better is because it has a 10 millimeter spacing. I like having that even 10 millimeter spacing.
Okay. Okay. They all left again.
Sorry, I had to get home.
Oh, okay. All right, kids. How are we gonna do the thing today? Woo! Should we sign off like somebody has us in a headlock?
What's that?
Like this.
No. Dawson, stop.
That was me. All right, let's just sign off. Everybody ready? John, you don't have to do it until you've got it memorized.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay, ready? As always,
Thanks for watching.
till next time.
Adios.
I really was in a headlock. All right, guys. I promised some of these guys, John, that I would, as I get towards the end of the Atlas tonight, I would stream again from my phone, just as it's turning on for sort of the first time. So it won't be anything formal like this, but I will stream from my phone on YouTube tonight. So
Okay.
all right,
Awesome.
adios, everybody.
Give me a heads
Thanks.
up. See you. Bye.
See ya. Bye. Always lose this button. There it is.